listening to the Praise Party. No party like a Holy Ghost party. Great interviews, gospel music, Harriet Tubman. You're listening to
Harriet Tolbert. Jacob's with you right here on the Praise Party, where ain't no party like a Holy Ghost party, because the Holy Ghost party don't stop. Listen, it's the top of the hour, 5 o'clock hour, and you know what time it is. I have been hyping it up the last hour. I'm so excited. I'm out of breath. Yes, all right. So we're back with another one of my favorite segments, and that is First Lady's Conversation. Shout out to First Lady Dean, Tanisha Dean, who is a writer, producer of stage plays, and she has gotten behind me and stood beside me, shall I say, and she is the writer behind the First Lady Conversation. So I have picked on her brain, and she has put it on paper for me to talk it out loud to you. So we have received a great response from you about this show, and we will not disappoint you today. So First Lady Conversation is our monthly segment that features a pastor wife providing wisdom about ministry and about life as a First Lady, as a woman. And since I am a new First Lady, I'm going to soak this all up. So really, this show is really about me, okay, y'all? I'm just playing. This show is for everyone because First Ladies are filled with wisdom, okay? So today's show is going to be nothing short of amazing. We have for you the exquisite First Lady Bridget Plater of the Remnant, I said it, of Faith Kojic in Dallas. Thank you, First Lady Bridget, for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited about being here.
She is so excited. I love it, y'all. You should see her energy inside the studio. So, First Lady Bridget, tell us a little bit more about you and how long you've been a First Lady, a wife, a mother, and, you know, what are your interests inside and outside the church?
Well, Lady Tolbert.
Yeah. Jacobs.
I have to put that on there.
That's all right.
Bishop will get me.
You
I'm
speak right in the mic. We want to hear all this good juice.
Now can you hear me?
We can.
Praise
Yes.
the Lord. I have been a First Lady for only 3 years. I am new to being a pastor's wife. I've been a mother for 29 years, 28 years. I have a 28-year son and a 20-year-old daughter. But I'm new to being a pastor's wife.
All right, there's nothing wrong with that.
And it is a blessing to be a pastor's wife.
A blessing to be a pastor wife.
Yes.
All right, so a First Lady is a wife, a mother, and she said it's a blessing. Now, what are some of your hobbies? Because I watch your Facebook Live, and y'all, I'm going to tell you about this event that she have coming up, because she did a video, I think it went viral, talking about all I do is win, no matter what. Now, keep in mind, she's Kojic, okay? So it was straight holy, okay? Don't be deep, church folks, okay? Now, listen, what do you do outside the ministry? Because sometimes we have to balance our life. Being a First Lady, being a wife, being a mother. What are some of your, as Bridget, what do you like to do outside the ministry?
I love, Lady Jacobs, to fish. I don't get to do that a lot.
Really?
I don't think Superintendent really likes to fish, so since I moved here, I haven't really gotten the opportunity. But I love to go fishing. I love to shop, of course. And those are two things that I really, really love to do. I love to go to thrift stores.
Really? Now, thrift stores do have a lot. Yeah, I like thrift stores too.
I love thrifting, but those are the 3 things that I really like to do. Shopping, fishing. Fishing is on top of my list. I love to do those things outside of ministry when I have a chance.
Awesome. Never would have thought you pictured you at fishing at all.
Nobody would, but it's one of the things that my grandfather, that we used to do with him, and he used to take us, and it's so peaceful out there on the lake, and you get to think, and you get to talk to God, and just have a good time, catch fish. It's exciting, you know.
Awesome. Definitely a Wonder Woman, shall I say. So we're going to go ahead and dive into this topic. Now, this particular topic holds close to my heart because, as you know, I have recently married a pastor who was married previously while pastoring. Our guest today has a similar story, and I am positive that she can provide us with some experience and some knowledge. And our topic for today is how do you manage being a First Lady after a divorce? You know, let's say, you know, but by that saying that, let's dive right on in. Tell us, First Lady, what are your thoughts after being a First Lady prior to becoming one?
Well, being a first lady after the divorce, it's a challenge for both of us because we both came out of a divorce. And as a first lady, from my perspective, you're wondering, will they receive you? How will they receive you? Because you are new to them, and you want to be welcomed, you want to be loved, and you want to reach everybody, and you want everybody to like you. That's what you want. You want that, and you desire that. And then coming out of divorce into something that you've never done, of course, you're nervous about it because it's something new, something that it's new territory for you, being a pastor's wife, because it's something you've never done.
Right.
So you just want to be right and do the right things and not offend anybody, but it just doesn't work that way.
Because you're new, here it is. And listen, y'all, let's not be, we don't indulge in divorce or any of that. Keep in mind, no one gets married to get a divorce,
Absolutely
but it happens.
not. It happens.
My husband just found out one of his close friends, out of state is going through a divorce right now, and he has a ministry. And one thing about it, you have couples all the time, and he has a friend now who are married right now, but they're miserable. They're just staying together because of the ministry, and people don't know that, when you're married to someone and then you have a ministry together and you divorce, that tears up the ministry, that tears up family members, that tears up the people in the church, that breaks their heart because they put you on a pedestal, not knowing that pastors and wives, they have issues, they have things that go on, and that's why you have to keep your pastor and wife in prayer.
Absolutely.
That's why you have to cover them. You going to the pastor and pulling on, pray for your pastor.
Absolutely.
For your pastor, stop being so selfish. You say, Pastor, I need you to come back here. My mama's sick, my daddy's sick. Cover your pastor, because he just has so many knives thrown at him, and what he's getting thrown at him, the first lady is being thrown at. So there's so much going on. So nevertheless, first lady, you've experienced where you married a man of God who went through a divorce, and you stepped into the role of a first lady.
Yes.
Now, I can relate to that. What are your thoughts about the church, and how did they perceive you?
Well, I had the unique opportunity, before we got married, I actually became a member of his church when we were engaged. So that was a unique opportunity for me. And I believe that God orchestrated it that way, so I could come in and see and know what I was going to have to deal with, and see the people and the different types of spirits that you have to deal with. And, so they have to get accustomed to having a pastor's wife, because it had been a while since there had been a first lady there, about 4 or 5 years. So then everybody has to get accustomed to, he has a wife now.
Because everybody trying to get the pastor. Like Bridget, everybody trying to get the pastor. I'm going to be the next first lady.
Absolutely.
I'm going to be the next first lady. Let me get my church hat together. I know pastor won't be, because I look too good. I got too much going on for me. Sit your crazy self down. That's what my husband says. Sit your crazy self down.
Absolutely.
Now, he didn't marry. No, you noticed, I know you said this is after y'all got engaged. You weren't a member before then, right?
No.
See, he didn't marry one of his sheep in the church.
No, he
went
not.
outside, same as Bishop. I can say the same from my husband. I wasn't no member. Matter of fact, I was running from him because I was like, I don't want to marry no pastor. Look, I'm a heathen. You really don't want to marry me. I'm bad. God is still working with me. He said, no, God told me you're my wife. I was like, oh, wow, Jesus, Lord have mercy. So, my next question, Lady Bridget, I understand what you're saying. How did they receive you in the beginning, and has it changed?
They received, everybody's not going to receive you. And everybody didn't receive me. And, but overwhelmingly, everyone did. And it did change, because you have some people there that were there because they wanted to be the pastor's wife, or they thought they were going to be the pastor's wife. So you get a lot of resignation letters, and a lot of the Lord is calling me to another ministry from all these women. So, and so you have to adapt to that. So, it did change after we got married, and so that was an adjustment within itself.
Wow. We're talking about, or you're joining, if you're just now tuning in, you're tuning into First Lady Conversation, and joining me today as our segment of the month, First Lady Bridget Plater from the Remnant of Faith Kojic, that is here out of Dallas, Texas, and her husband is Pastor Superintendent
Lorenzo Plater, my caramel honey.
Look at it, look at it. Her caramel dip, her. Yes, amen. I love it. So she's joining us today as we're talking about making that transition as being married to a pastor that's been divorced. And I'm sure there's someone who is listening that's experienced it. Maybe there's a lay member that you are not too pleased with your pastor right now because he's maybe still single, or he's dating someone that maybe you don't approve of. But let me tell you something, you don't have a nay or a say over that pastor. When God has placed somebody on his heart, the Lord has spoken to him, okay?
Right.
Y'all better stop doing that to these pastors.
That's right. That's
Stop
right.
doing it. So she's joining us today, and we're talking about this very touchy, very sensitive, but hopefully it's very helpful for someone who is listening right now. Tune in. It's Daria Tober Jacobs with you right here on the Praise Party, where ain't no party like a Holy Ghost party, because the Holy Ghost party don't. And it is the month of August, and this is the first Saturday of the month where we initiate First Lady Conversation. We talk about all the insight of what's going on in the First Lady's world. Written by First Lady Tanisha D. Thank you, shout out who is listening right now. And to the Lady Bridget Plater from the Remnant of Faith Kojic. I had all that, I'm getting tongue tied here. Right here out of Dallas, Texas. And we're so hippopotamus happy, as the Baptist people would say, to have her in the studio. We were talking about how you're able to become a First Lady after being, or just dive into being a First Lady after being married to a pastor, or being married to a pastor who's been married before, and just stepping into that role. And some of the things we've already discussed for those who are just now tuning in. Lady Bridget just shared with us, you know, her insight of her just being a wife, a mother, a friend, and just a First Lady, and then diving into stepping into that role as a First Lady. And I know you mentioned that before you got married, he proposed to you, were a member of the church, so you were able to connect with some of the members. Some were accepting, some were not. And some said, well, the Lord is calling me to a new ministry.
Yes. That happens, doesn't it?
Yes. So what did you do or say to make the transition easier?
To the members,
Mm-hmm.
I just asked them to accept me for who I am.
Mm-hmm.
And because I'm a out of the box type person,
Mm-hmm.
period. I'm kind of weird and different, so I'm not your typical traditional First Lady.
Me too.
So-
Are you more contemporary? Are you more, because First Lady, you do wear your hats, because if someone knew you, they thought you like tradition, like she's all the way Kojic, but she's really not. Like, you're outside the box.
I am
You
outside
threw me
of the
for a loop
box.
when you did. All I do is win, win, win. I was like, yes, First Lady, hallelujah.
They wasn't ready for that. They wasn't ready for that, but I did my best. But what my purpose in that was to, because that's me, and I have to. That's why I asked them, just accept me for being me, because I can't be anybody else. You have to accept the pastor's wife as she is and love her just like she is. It doesn't mean she's not going to make any mistakes,
Right.
and because she is, I have made, I'm sure, many. But try to get to know me. A lot of times we judge people before we get to really know who they are. And so
I testify to that.
we just don't really know who they are. So we really don't know what to say about people all the time, because we haven't gotten a chance to get to know them. So I just ask the people at the Remnant, the women and men, to accept me for who I am, and to know that I'm here because I love the pastor. So I'm not going to do anything to hurt or harm the ministry intentionally. So know that I walk by him and his side. He's the pastor. I'm not the pastor. I allow him to walk in that place. God has not called me to be the pastor. I don't co-pastor with him. He is the pastor, but
You know, a lot of these First Ladies, they want to be co-pastor and everything.
I don't want to
I
be.
mean, I'm not throwing no shade.
No,
I'm not throwing no shade.
it's enough just being a First Lady. So I don't need the extra. I'll let him carry that. Because
I like it. I mean, I'm like you.
I don't
I don't
mind.
need the extra time.
No, I don't mind. I'm his biggest cheerleader, his biggest supporter. So I just ask the people at Remnant, just accept me for who I am. If you can
And
do
they
that.
seem like they do, because you have a lot of love surrounded by you.
Yes.
I can tell not only your social media, but even when you have your different, events, they love their first lady. No shade, Pastor, but they love their first lady. I'm just saying.
And I love them, and I just try to get into the hearts of the women, and do things other than church, to get to know them as well. Because a lot of women are struggling, going through things, and we don't understand their praise or why they don't praise because they're going through things. But if we get to take time out to get to know them and do things, and then we'll find out. Oh,
so, are there things that your husband did to aid the transition?
Yes, he kept. I'm just gonna be honest. I didn't want to be a pastor's wife, and I told him that. I thought would be our last date. I said, "This has been good. It's been nice. I've enjoyed this nice dinner, and you look good, and you are fine. But I don't want to be a pastor's wife. I just can't do that because the responsibility I knew would be great." But he didn't say anything to me. He said, and that was it. And I said, "Did you hear what I said?" He said, "Yes, I heard what you said." And he just kept calling. I kept answering. He kept texting. I kept texting back. And he later told me that he got in the car and he said, "God, if this is the woman for me, you change her heart." And that's what God did. God began to change my heart. He made me be so in love with him that I didn't care what he was.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So I knew I could do it as long as I had his support. And he allowed me to be me. I think that really helps. He didn't try to change me. He didn't try to conform me. Like you said, I'm not traditional, and I think people think when they see Church of God in Christ, oh, that's traditional, Kojic, but we are not traditional as most people would think. I do wear a hat, but I don't wear hats every Sunday. But I like to dress up.
I do too. I know that's right.
And
we have 30 seconds left before we go into this commercial break. First Lady Bridget, what would you tell a lay member, which are listening, someone who's listening right now? Gotcha. How to treat a new First Lady if their pastor remarries?
Oh my gosh, you have to love them and accept them even though you don't know them, and try to make an effort on your part to get to know them. They have the same struggles, the same things that you go through. They go through the same things. They are tired just like you. They work, some of them just like you. They have children. They have fears. So just really try to get to know them. Love on them first.
That's right. Hallelujah.
Develop a relationship with them first.
That's right. I love it.
Before you throw them out.
Before you throw them out.
Develop a relationship with them.
First Lady, you have really blessed me today, and I am definitely better equipped. Hopefully someone else is listening is better equipped how to even handle a situation like that. Maybe you're in a marriage and you're just new in your role as being a First Lady. Before you leave us, I have one more question. If you could leave me with one piece of advice to be, or someone who's listening, how to be the best First Lady you can be, what would it be?
Be yourself. Don't try to conform to a label or to what people want you to be, because if you're a pastor's wife, you're in God. He chose you because you already love the Lord, and you do. So if you're in God, it's okay to be yourself because you're going to take on the image of Christ. You're going to be like God. But God always leaves us a piece of our own personality. He doesn't take it away from us when we get saved. So we can take that same personality and use it in ministry. Be Lady Jacobs. And don't let anybody change you from that.
Amen. I love it. I love it. I love it. First Ladies, are you listening? Be yourself. Because if you try to act like something you're not, it's going to show, and eventually it's going to come out. Listen, we're going to go into a break. We'll be back with more, closing out with Lady Bridget, telling us more of what she has going on in her end right here on Heaven 97 KHBN.
But on the fifth day, they had burritos.
Yeah, it doesn't come with a manual or a guideline. And there are some,
They wanted to go home until a scientist saved their dignity with new Toast Chewy Bites plus gas relief.
You have people say, your First Lady material is cute. Like, who ordained you to pick some? Am I? I sure is. Who told you? Let's first first lady material. You just act like you've been saved all your life, and you just like she can't even handle the church. You don't know. If God has placed that man and told that man that's your wife, then
That's right.
you know.
You have to walk in your calling because your calling it makes you unique to who you are. It's like you sing, you play, you're beautiful, intelligent, smart. God already knew you had those qualities. And so to combine them with a man of God, that just makes it more extraordinary. It just makes it more explosive because you can carry all the service if the musician is not there.
I don't like doing it.
I know. I don't either.
The more you shop, the more Kohl's Cash you'll
So
get.
I
No
don't
Take an
play
extra $10 off your
like I
$50
used to,
purchase
but I
of
do
back-to-school
play.
items.
And I
Plus, free
despise
Amazon
having
returns
to
now at all
play.
Kohl's
Let's
stores.
carry the
Kohl's.
insurance.
I do
10 off,
because
50
that's
offer
not, I
valid
haven't done it in so long. I want to sit over there and enjoy the service. But you're a complete package, and that's good. That's going to help you in ministry.
We're gonna go one more time. Keeping up with all the new music and enjoy your classic favorites as well. All day, every day, right here on Heaven 97 KHVN. And listen, if you haven't heard your favorite song yet, keep listening. It's on the way. Don't be proud and throw your lips up. You can hear all your favorite gospel music right here on Heaven 97 KHVN, and also keep up with us on our website at khvnam.com. In the studio, and we're talking about First Lady Conversation, and we've come to the end because we're about to get on out of here, and Lisa Shaw will be taking over for the evening. First Lady Bridget Plater, and she has been joining us, and it has been such a good conversation we've been talking about. First Lady Bridget, tell us where your church is located, the worship time, and how can others follow you on social media?
My church is located 825 West Pentagon Parkway in Dallas, Texas, 75224. We have Sunday school. Yes, we still have Sunday school, church school at 9:15 a.m. and our morning worship begins at 10:30 a.m.
Okay. And what are some upcoming events you have? I know I mentioned it earlier, but I know it's around the corner though.
I'm getting ready for my All I Do Is Win conference, women's conference.
Is this
and
free?
It is free.
Okay, guys, free.
It's free.
Yes, that is free. We'll get that up here so we can announce that too.
Yes, it's coming up August the 7th through the 8th. Wednesday and Thursday, Evangelist Janez Burks is going to kick us off.
Ooh.
Evangelist Lillian Thomas from Waco, Texas is going to close us out. It's going to be dynamic and powerful. Men, you are welcome. We're just looking to have an exciting time because all we do is win.
That's right.
No matter what.
No matter what, you're going to win. Throw your hands up. Tell Satan, get under your feet because we're going to win. Yes, ma'am. Thank you for tuning in to First Lady Conversation. We will return first Saturday in September with more nuggets to chew on. Everyone be blessed and pray for your pastor and First Lady. First Lady, did you mention how people can follow you on social media?
Oh, you can follow me. I have a Facebook page, Bridget Plater, and you can just follow me there. And I'm on other things, but I'm not connected to them. I got to do better. I'm on Instagram. I'm on all those things. Twitter, I just got to do better. But Facebook, I'm a Facebooker, and you can definitely follow me there. I do some lives when I get an opportunity, and I enjoy doing that. So just follow me there.
That's good.
You're listening to the Praise Party. No party like a Holy Ghost party. Great interviews, gospel music, area town. You're listening to